Hey, this is Victor Antonio. Welcome to another Monday morning sales workout for sales managers. Today we're going to talk about blocking objections. Now, we've all been taught to overcome objections, but studies have shown that once an objection is raised, the customer is taken a position and is less likely to change their mind. So what you want to do is block an objection. How do you block an objection? Simple formula. Let's download the worksheet and let's go through it. The first way to do it is to raise the objection yourself. Now, if you raise the objection yourself, you are in control of that objection, right? You got it right there in the palm of your hands. Then step two is you got to offer to resolve it. You got to offer to resolve that for the customer. Third step is you got to demo something, show them something to prove your point. And then step number four, you got to tie down the objection. And let's go to the example here. So step number one, raise the objection. Many of our customers tell us that we're more expensive. So the objection here is, you know that in the customer's mind, they're thinking, this company's too expensive. So instead of you waiting for them to say it, you bring it up. Mr. Customer, many of our customers tell us that we're more expensive, but that really depends on what you're buying. Okay, very smooth. I raise the objection. Then I say this, allow me to show you what I mean. See the transition? Allow me to show you what I mean. Is that okay? Customer will go say, yeah, go ahead, show me. And what are they thinking at this point? I'm glad he brought up the expensive objection first because that was my big concern. So the fact that you're raising it builds credibility on your side. Now, you got to demo something. So what you're going to do is maybe show them, a grid, you show a comparative analysis, your product versus your competitors and all the features you have and how you have much more features, many more options, so forth and so on. And if you demo something correctly, then you tie down the expensive objection by saying something like this. Based on what I've shown you, can you now see how we're really not that expensive when you compare apples to apples? Then you shut up and you wait for the customer to say yes. And at that moment, that objection has been tied, which means as you move towards the close, it won't raise its ugly head again. You've dealt with it early, you tied it down, it is done. And you will feel the resistance go down. So here's what I'd like you to do. With your team, list 3 to 5 typical objections that you get. 3 to 5 typical objections you get. And then using this blocking structure, raising the objection, offer to resolve, demo something, and then tie it down, work through the scripts, much like I did in this example, work through scripts, what you would say, what you would show during the demo phase, and what question would you ask to tie it down. Do this with your team. And as you're going through this, keep in mind, never raise an objection that never comes up. That's the only thing. That's the only caveat with this strategy. You cannot raise an objection that isn't there. In other words, don't bring up an objection if the customer rarely brings it up. Only bring up common objections. Look, with your team, you're going to be able to get together around a round table, and I'm sure you're going to come up with 5 to 10 objections you typically get. When I work with companies, on average, 5 to 7 objections is the most you're going to encounter. Now, if we know how to respond to all 5 or 7 objections, again, go back to your ability to present and convince and be persuasive. By being able to block that objection before they raise it, puts you in control of the conversation. But again, when you're in control, you can feel the resistance going down because as you're raising objections, the customer's like, okay, he's really dealing with all the issues or all the questions I had. And what you're doing is position yourself, again, as a trusted advisor. So again, go through the exercise, 3 to 5 typical objections, no more than 7. Come up with the scripts, all 4 steps for each one, and then have your sales team go out there and use it. They're going to feel the difference. This is Victor Antonio with another Monday morning sales workout, reminding you, selling ain't hard when you block objections and you know how. Take care.